Welcome to the KFA podcast, where our mission is to keep faith alive by kicking ass.
Dayton, what is this podcast I'm on? The KFA Club? Holy hell. Who's coming to this damn thing? Who wants to hear me speak?
All 12 people, man. Oh, the event. No, we got a few hundred signups already. Keller Williams came in clutch and they bought 100 tickets last week. So,
all right, KFA. Let's go, Dayton. Let's go. Coming to Portland, Oregon. Can you believe it? Actually, Vancouver, Washington. But essentially, you land at PDX. People don't realize this. You say, I'm going to be speaking in Vancouver. And they're like, BC? And I'm like, no, dude. Yeah. Washington. Come on.
Absolutely.
Love it,
man.
Brother.
We're excited to have all you. Yeah, dude. So today we're going to be dropping your name as the next speaker in the lineup.
Let's do it.
And I just wanted to get some content, get people who don't know you, for the people who don't know you. And I know you're familiar with our marketplace, but for the few people who don't know who you are yet, I want them to learn about you and get excited, man.
Dude, let's learn. Let's go. You say when.
Yeah. Let's get going. I don't know if you want to start just with your backstory a little bit. I know it's very colorful. You got a pretty ridiculous resume.
It's eclectic. I like to say eclectic.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. No, I started in traditional broadcast, so TV and radio. I was a middle kid, man. I love the camera. You know, my sisters on either side of me, they always had the attention, the older one and the younger one. So I was like drawn to the camera, drawn to this Shure SM7B microphone. You know, I was like, dude, I want to create, you know, I want to make content. And that's where most business owners start. And I'm going to tell you, that's where they fail because they're so damn focused on content creation, on the creative aspect of marketing, you know, the colors, the brand, the logo. And I'm going to start a podcast and a t-shirt. You know, instead, they're not focused on their brand. Who am I? How am I different? How am I serving the customer? And who is my target? Like, what is their real challenge and how do I speak? They skip right over. They go, no. I'm in real estate. I'm here to buy and sell houses for investors, single family, luxury. That's what I do. And I'm going to start a podcast and it's going to be amazing because my personality alone is going to drive this business. You know,
and we're going to talk about all the lending programs, or we're going to talk about all the boring shit that no one cares about.
That's right.
And
that's
people are going to tune in.
It. That's it, dude. And so I learned very early on that while it's great to craft your creative TV, radio, I really needed to learn data and strategy. And that's what I learned later in life when I started my own agency. I learned how to run a business. I mean, a lot of these lenders and agents, dude, they think of themselves their entire life as employees, but the truth is they're freaking business owners. Like you're running your own business. And I think that's a junior mistake. Anybody who's new in the industry, they're always thinking about, you know, how do I get more security in my life? You don't. You're a business owner. You got to eat. You got to hunt and you got to eat. So you got to get specific, intentional, and organized. And if you don't have those three things, then you're one of the statistics, which I know you know this, Dayton, because you've been in the game for a really long time, but over 80% of any new agent fails in 6 months, cannot make it, you know, chokes, goes back to the bar gig, goes back to, you know, goes back to hair, cosmetology or something. You know, they go back to what they're comfortable with because they get a guaranteed check. And honestly, it saddens me, Dayton, because I wish they knew what you knew. I wish they knew the level of intent they need to put into building the operations of the business and connecting with more people.
Right. And just the time frame that it's going to require to build something special. It's not going to happen overnight.
That's right.
It's not going to happen overnight. And I think a lot of people get into the game thinking, you know, with real high expectations of how quickly it's gonna pay off. And unfortunately, you know, that can happen and be, I think, made worse because of the comparison game, because there's so many, you know, the people you hear about are the ones who you know, in their first year did close 50 deals and you start comparing and going, well, man, I haven't even closed 4.
Yeah. You didn't see what they were doing behind the scenes that they didn't put online, you know?
Right. You know, and I was in that place too, you know, at 19, 19 to 20 that year, I did close 67 deals and I got a lot of praise for it. But the thing is that no one talks about, but I'm willing to be vulnerable and share it. I paid for a lot of leads. And my P&L, I didn't even know what a P&L was. I was
Right.
19.
Right.
And so, yeah, maybe my top line looked great and maybe people wanted to follow me or thought that I deserved some respect for that.
Sure.
And maybe that's what I was chasing in the beginning. But I quickly realized, like, man, if I would have done 15 deals and been smart, I could have made more money than this. But I
Yep.
had to deal
Yep.
with all this work. And so, yeah, man, I think a lot of people are following the wrong people, are comparing themselves to the wrong people, and they just got to walk that path themselves for
It's
sure.
so true, man. And I didn't learn until later in life, Dayton, that relationships are so key. Partnerships, you can't grow by yourself. This
No.
is why they need to come to the event. This is why they need to get closer to people like you, because too many of them are just like stubborn. Like, I'm going to teach myself. I'm a self starter. I'm a learner. I don't need anybody. No, I'm telling. Listen to Dayton. He didn't know how to run the P&L he does now. He's going to fast forward the mistakes so you don't make the same mistake. People just need to pay attention to other people who are creating success in their life. And that's what I'm most excited about at this event, man, is we're going to hit the stage and I'm going to deliver not just big inspiration, motivation, but I'm going to give away step-by-step processes, how to create more impactful marketing, how to connect with people quicker, and how to close the cycle in your sales so you can actually convert deals and start eating and hitting the goals that you know you're supposed to hit. So
Yeah,
I'm gonna bring a lot of heat to Vancouver, Washington, man.
absolutely. For sure, man. We're excited. Do you want to share, like, I don't know how much of your resume that you're good with sharing, but
Yeah,
yeah, man.
whatever you want to dig into, man. iHeartRadio for 15 years. I worked
Yeah.
alongside Ryan Seacrest, syndicated to 41 markets throughout the country. So very early on, if you live in markets like Tampa, Vegas, Dallas, Portland, Oregon, I was on
Hmm.
C100, KKRZ, C100. I had a morning
Yeah.
show for 4 years. I was number one. And then I competed a little bit with a guy named, what was his name? PJ or something? Or I
Mm.
forget this kid's name. But we went back and forth for a little bit. PK, that was the guy's name. I don't know where he ended up. He's somewhere else now. But I was in the Z100 market too in Portland, and after that, I created my own agency, and I sold that agency and started working with really big brands. I got into another agency, and I worked with Starbucks, Nike, Google, like really big resume. I worked
Mhm.
on pumpkin spice latte for 2 years. I worked on Frappuccino for 2 years. Nike running. Let's see what else. I worked on Google Voice. I worked on Google Pixel. So really
Wow.
big campaigns. And I worked with like small mom and pop shops when I owned my own agency. And then
Yeah.
all of a sudden I'm working for enterprise billion-dollar P&Ls. And so
Crazy.
I know when people hear like, yeah, you worked for Nike, they're like, how's that going to help me? I don't have a staff of 5,000 globally around the world. Like, what? That's not going to help me. Like, no, I've worked with mom and pop shops just trying to get somebody through the door, brick and
Mhm.
mortar success, all the way up to massive, massive retail, e-com, fintech, you name it.
Mhm.
And then if you want me to keep going on the resume, I was at the world's largest holding group, WPP. I was head of their business development. I was senior vice president of business development for their marketing team. That agency, by the way, 40,000 employees. People think, oh, world's largest
Wow.
agency. What a bullet point. No, I'm telling you, 40,000 employees at one agency. It's a massive
A
agency.
football stadium full
Yeah,
of
across the
employees.
world. Every
Yeah.
country had an office, basically. And while I was there, I met someone who said, you should come build a business management company with Grant Cardone. And
Mhm.
that's exactly what I did. I spent 3 years as a chief marketing officer at Cardone Ventures, which is the business management arm of Grant Cardone's enterprise. When I was there, he had 17 entities. Who knows how many entities he has now? But,
Yeah.
but, but, I mean, I know he'll clear 400 million on profit this year. I know
Yeah.
he's not playing small, and years of radio, TV, build my own agency, sell my agency, work for the world's largest brands,
Mhm.
never prepared me for what Grant Cardone taught me. Like,
Yeah.
like 3 years with Grant is a real business boot camp. I thought I knew content creation and promotion, but like Grant's on a whole nother level. I think he's like third largest YouTuber for business. I don't know anybody
Oh,
that
that's
trumps
not
him.
shocking. Yeah.
Yeah,
And
no,
man, like I say this to people all the time, like, he's polarizing, right? Like people either love him or hate him, but regardless, you have to respect him for one thing, and that's his branding. And
gotta
he played a
respect
part in
it,
that.
man.
I mean, his marketing game is unbelievable, second to none, especially in
Second
our
to none,
industry.
man. You know, you can't get him out of your face. That's the whole thing. He's everywhere. He calls it omnipresence. He's everywhere.
Omni,
Funny story on
like
branding with Grant. Um, when I say 10x, what do you think of?
Grant Cardone.
Yeah. So he actually doesn't own the trademark for 10x.
No way, really?
No, when he wrote the first book, the 10x rule, he said, I wrote it in 2 days. I'll throw it out there, see what this shit does. I don't really care. You know,
Wow.
some real estate company said, that's going to be worth something. And they went and grabbed the
Swiped it.
URL 10x. If you go to 10x.com, it's a real estate investment company. And
Wow.
that company trademarked the name, grabbed the URL. And Grant's point is this: is branding who owns it or who knows it?
Yeah.
And so these guys own it and no one knows because they don't know how
Yeah.
brand works. They don't know how marketing works, right? So you can own everything you want to own. Everybody goes out to try to own their IP. It's all about making noise. It's all about getting attention and awareness. Gary Vee says that attention is currency.
Yep.
And so many people are going to come to this event, Dayton, and they're afraid to hold that phone in front of their face to tell a story, make a connection, and get more attention. And so when you ask them, what's your social currency? They're like, I got retention. You know, I got old clients that introduce me to new clients. Like, that's where all my leads I don't need to do social. Okay, stay small. Stay right where you're at. Just keep grabbing your retention. You don't want more than that in life? Don't come to this event. Not the right event for you. Go to the nursing home, start retiring. Go watch Jello night, bingo Jello night at the retirement home. You know, I mean, dude, I can't be
100%.
around people who just are so complacent and average. Like, I'm happy where I'm at. I really got to surround myself so that I stay motivated, right? Drafting. John Maxwell talks about drafting. You got to be able to draft behind other players. And sometimes, you know, this is the biggest misconception, I think. People say, oh, Dayton's done so much, Buck's done so much. I'm going to learn and draft from them. No, look, it doesn't matter. I'm right now, I'm drafting from Dayton. Dayton's going to draft from me. Dude, you just started in year one and you sold your first 5 houses, but you're like pumped up to create some content today. I'm drafting off of you. It doesn't matter where you're at in the game. What I'm saying is stay around like-minded people. Not everybody's got to be a millionaire mentor. Just stay around people with the right mindset. Too many people are affected by their environment. That's something Grant really taught me too. But I should mention, just because this is important for the event, one of my clients currently is the world's most followed real estate agent. And that is Ryan Serhant. So I've been working with Ryan since I left Cardone 3 years ago. And Ryan is a powerhouse, man. When it comes to social marketing, grabbing attention, he's a powerhouse. Nobody in the real estate game even comes close to his ability. And what I like about Ryan and what's different is that he's not polarizing. He's very likable. I've never met someone that says, oh, I don't like that guy, you know? And so he's got a real clean, bespoke brand where he really not only grabs attention, but he wins relationships every day. And that is why across all social platforms, he's literally not just one of the fastest growing brokers in New York, just crushing it in his real estate game, but he's a marketing branding master. And he's going to be at this event. And I'll tell you, when he takes the stage, man, I've watched rooms dynamically shift. Like, he has this energy. I think I'm energetic and I think I've got really good points, but man, he gets on stage and he says like one sentence and everyone's just like, wow.
His delivery is incredible too.
Yeah. He's
really mastered that.
It really is a transfer of energy for him. Some people are just loud. They think like that's energy. And it's like, no, he like snipes it. He's like a sniper. He comes in the room and like, and you're like, ooh, I gotta listen to this guy. Wow, dude, funny story. She's gonna kill me for this. My business partner, who I know you know, Jacqueline Taylor. You should clip this up and tag her on Instagram.
Okay.
She was like, Buck, we had to go do an event in Miami. Ryan was gonna be there. She'd never met Ryan Serhant before, and I said, listen, I'm just gonna warn you because this happened to my wife. When you meet him in person, you start to drool and you can't speak. He's just got this dynamic presence. She's like, Buck, nobody impresses me. we go, he's in the green room. We say, hey, Ryan. He's like, hey, Buck, how have you been, man? Great. This is my business partner, Jacqueline. She shakes his hand. She meets him. She walks out. She's like, oh my God. Ryan Serhan is so great. He's so smart and tall and dreamy and successful. He just has some way to captivate people, man. You know?
Yeah.
Wild.
Man, it's going to be exciting. And I think, this day is really turning in and kind of shaping up to be a day about, in a large way, about branding. And
Yeah.
I think more than that, separating yourself from the herd. And it kind of happened by accident, honestly, but I think there couldn't be a better topic to go deep on right now with how much market share has just opened up over the last season.
So
And that's
true,
kind of
man.
what we're talking about right now is like, this market share is open. Who's going to take it? Because
Yeah.
there's a window of time to take that market share, and it's going to go to the people who stand out. And
It's
so
true.
that's, it on that note, if you're a real estate agent in the herd of thousands of real estate agents in our marketplace,
Yeah, sure.
what are you doing to stand out right now?
Yeah, you got to get attention. And the way you do that is not by starting conversations that no one wants to be a part of. That's the biggest issue. Everybody gets, okay, I'm listening. Buck and Dayton, they told me I got to get on here and get attention. I want to talk to you about this subject that you don't want to talk about. That's what people do. Instead,
Right.
one, do the research, find the conversations that already exist, right? Meet the consumer at a point of interest, at a point of intent. Best way to do that is YouTube. There's no better platform for intent. Define that word. Go look it up. Intent. What does intent mean? Right? Purpose driven connection. Not let me pitch you and see if you might be interested. No, let us meet in the middle where you have already decided what you need. Right. And the reason that is YouTube is the second largest search engine. So if I'm a new agent right now, dude, every title on YouTube is something somebody is searching for in the Portland, Vancouver area, right? The best schools in Vancouver. How do I who's searching? How do I not pay income tax, but then also shop across the border to not get sales tax? Like, who's trying to, dude, I was there. I'm trying to decide, do I want no sales tax or no income? I eventually went no income tax. I went to Camas, Washington, right? But like, I searched it on YouTube. Where were you?
Yeah.
Where were you when I searched it on YouTube? You didn't pop up because you didn't create the content. So my first advice is create and make that searchable for conversations that are already taking place. Well, Buck, how do I know what conversations are taking place? Research. Literally, you got AI at your fingertips. You got GPT, you got Google, you got Bard. What else do you want? Go research the biggest and most popular conversations. That would be my bet. Like, that's the easiest. If you're watching this and you're like, I don't know what to do, start right there. Give me 10 subjects, go make 10 videos in the next 2 days. Don't give me any lip on that. Go make it. Just make it
Buck,
happen.
I don't have any equipment.
Don't need
All I
it.
have is
World's best camera right here. And we've tested this. I'm a data marketer, Dayton. I only believe what I see. I'm not a gut marketer. A lot of gut marketers are like, oh, I think this is the new trend. It feels right. Go do it. No. Data. Data tells me what works. This converts more than this. This right here, this is for high level education and credibility. So people watching this are like, well, these guys have invested time and money into beautiful microphones and equipment. Therefore, I'm going to listen. But if you don't know me and I'm going, hi, I'm Buck Wise on a Shure SM7B and a beautiful Lumix GH5. You're like, dude, screw it. What's this guy selling me? This converts more than this when they don't know you on the cold side of your cycle, when you're just trying to give information and education. I would rather use this any day. You couldn't pay me to use it. Don't even give me the equipment. I don't want it. It's going to convert more. So there really is no excuse.
Yeah. I love that. We did an event. Our second event here in town was called the Rising Stars event.
Nice.
And we just featured 3 agents that were all in the first couple of years that are crushing it. In the top 10 buy sides in the area, and
Nice.
like a couple of these ladies are younger than me, and crushing it. And so we put them on stage and said, what do you know that the vets don't know?
Yeah.
And here's the common occurrence, at least, well, 2 of the 3, one of them just hustles and grinds on the phones and probably puts a lot more work in than most people.
Sure.
The other 2, they're the 2 YouTube agents of our area.
That's it, man.
And they got, and guess what? Their business didn't slow down this year because the out of state half to movers are still finding them on YouTube and coming in. So
That's
every
right.
client they're working with is people who have to still move
Same
regardless of
story,
interest
man.
rate.
Same story. I hear it in Dallas. I heard it yesterday in Milwaukee. I've got a client that I work with. I help with agents' personal brand. I helped her in Charlotte, North Carolina. She's crushing YouTube. If you're searching Charlotte area information, you're going to find my client doing YouTube videos. So, anybody that's getting serious about, hey, I need to create a better online presence, a better personal brand, follow me on Instagram because I give out daily tips on better content creation. You can see it right here at the bottom of this screen at About Buck. Every day I'm dropping knowledge, right? I don't even sell, Dayton. People are like, how do I work with your agency? Because I don't give I don't have to. People get so much knowledge. They go, okay, I want to speed the process up. How do I do that? I say, you talk to me. We're going to speed the process up. We're going to give you a better ROI, and we're going to save you more time so you can go work on the business and not worry about your content production. So I love that strategy, and we're hearing that over and over. Out of towners that are moving in, they're all searching YouTube. And here's the other stat, because remember, I'm a data marketer. 90% of the internet traffic last year was video.
Yeah.
So that's why video is absolutely king right now. Everybody's watching videos. So
Well, and
go
on
create
Google
stories.
too. Obviously, Google and YouTube are connected, but Google's pushing the YouTube videos above
That's
the
it.
sponsored ads now.
That's it,
Like
man.
they're more valuable. They have more valuable real estate than on Google than ads do right
That's
now, and it's free,
exactly it,
and
man.
they last and they stay there. You don't have to keep paying for them.
You know what's funny, Dayton? I think the stuff we're saying, like, I want to believe people watching this podcast and have stayed this long,
Right.
because that's a smaller group. They say so podcasts have the longest time spent listening. They call it TSL. Podcasts have anywhere from an 18 to 34-minute range of listening, which is long. Why? Well, we know Instagram is 2 seconds, 1, 2, 1, 2. That's the attention span on Instagram. So 17 minutes, that's long. So anybody here now in the 30-minute mark, they're really dedicated and listening. I gotta believe, Dayton, that they've heard all of these tips before. YouTube, video, like consistency. The challenge is there's only 1% that are watching this right now that are actually going to get off their ass and do it without making excuses as to why they should never do it. I don't know if you know this guy, really good friend of mine. He's my neighbor. He lives like 5 minutes from my house. His name's Andy Elliott. He's a sales trainer.
Oh yeah.
He's always talking about the 1%, man. There's only 1% they're going to actually do the things we're talking about. So it does. It makes me sad when I come speak at events and I get in a room of 500 or 1,000 people and I realize it's only 10 people in the room I'm really talking to. The other ones are just there because they think that event is going to do something for them instead of them taking the information and going to do something. So I hope to meet more than 1%. Hopefully 2% show up at your event.
Yeah. No, for sure. And like I agree. And only a certain percentage are going to take action, but I do think the first step to that is going to be getting themselves in the room, and hopefully the people who show up are that, at least a disproportionate amount of them compared to the average are ones that are there to take it to the next level this year.
Totally agree, dude.
The opportunity is there. But
Love it, man.
yeah. So I know we got to wrap up here pretty quick, but any last message to the audience, what you're about to bring, what this event's about to bring?
Yeah.
I want to get them excited.
I really do. I help entrepreneurs like you. I help professionals, business owners figure out how to create a better presence online quickly so they can make better connections and close those deals faster while saving more time while they work on the business. So I'm going to go through how to do that. How, Buck? I'm going to break it down step by step so that when you walk out, dude, don't play with me. Bring the book, guys. Bring the pen, bring the book, take the notes. I'll never forget Jesse Itzler, multi-millionaire, wife is a billionaire, right? He comes and speaks at events all the time. As soon as he's done speaking, he comes to the front row and he takes notes on all the other speakers. If a billionaire's taking notes, why can't you take notes? Bring notes, because I'm going to give you things you need to do. And you're not going to remember all of it. The human brain can't retain it all. So I want you to come write it down so you remember all the steps. But I would
Yep.
just say this: if you knew you couldn't fail, if failure was not an option, what would you do differently right now in your life? Would you come to this event, or would you sit on the fence waiting for your at bat?
Mm, love it. Love that. And I haven't told you this yet. We haven't made this public, but we're working on building an action mind day 2 for whatever percentage of people actually want to show up.
Nice.
And we're still putting the details together, but we're going to all rally up for the morning after with a group of however many people that want to show up and
Love it.
go through the notes and actually put in the action plan.
Love it.
Because most notes, myself included, sometimes they go unread. They go
That's
written
right.
down and they
Nah,
don't
man.
ever go reviewed.
Not this
So
time. Not in Vancouver, Washington. That's not happening.
can't afford it. Can't afford it. The
Love
time
it,
is now.
dude. Dayton, thanks for having me on, man. I appreciate it.
Welcome to the KFA podcast, where our mission is to keep faith alive by kicking ass.